going on, TruSouljas? It's LeBradford here, aka King Truth and TruSouljas Education. And today I want to welcome you to our seventh principle, the choke vacuum, in our two-part series, reaching your peak through a growth mindset. And our seventh principle, choke vacuum, will be speaking on the opposite of peak performance and what causes the opposite of peak performance, choking, and how to get away from choking and eliminate it. So, what is the number one thing that causes you to choke? I'll give you a minute to think about that. Well, it's worrying. Worrying in peak performance shows up in two contexts. In one context, in academia, or when you're taking a test or an exam or whatever it may be, you're actually underthinking when you engage in worrying. You're using up those 4 slots in your working memory and capacitating it with worrying. In the working memory, you need that to go into your long-term memory and draw out the information needed to be in your working memory at the time during that exam. But if you're worrying, you're using up some of that space needed to draw that memory and underthinking in the aspect of what you need to ace that exam through your working and long-term memory. And then the second context, which would be your performance mode, you're actually overthinking. Like in the performance mode where you're performing a musical piece with an instrument or your vocals, or you're in sports and you gotta kick a game-winning field goal or hit a game-winning free throw and use your procedural knowledge that you gain through practicing. You have where you need to be fluid in your motions with your mind associated with your emotions. You need fluidity, but when you're worrying, you're actually overthinking and you're rigid with your mind associations to your physical abilities. You're rigid in it, opposed to the fluidity gained through practice and using your procedural knowledge. You're thinking step by step, what do I need to do next to hit this note correctly? You're overthinking. So that's identifying what choking is, and the number one culprit, worrying, to choking. So how can we eliminate choking? What's the process to it? Dum 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 dum. Well, did you guess, or did you think mental training or meditating, whatever you want to call it, that's the number one thing to diminish and eliminate worrying. Hitting the focus gym or the concentration gym. When you're worrying, you want to actually be aware that you're worrying, identifying that you are worrying right now, That's the first thing. And then second, a little bit tougher, gain strength gained through mental training is being able to direct your attention and your focus where you need it to be when you need it to be there. They say 90% of sports and peak performance is mental. So you want to be able to identify that you're worrying and then bring that attention back to where you want it to be when you need it to be there. They say that if there was a study done in a book, presented in a book called Choke, where there was a group of people that took a test. They initially scored identical on that test. Then one group did 10 minutes of mental training, and then the second group just went in and retook the test. After both groups retook the test, the group that did the meditating scored a B+, whereas the group that just went in and retook the test without any mental training scored a B-. A similar study presented in Russell Simmons, the hip-hop mogul, Success Through Stillness, stated that there was a test given to students similar to the SAT. And 2 weeks, they did 2 weeks of one group doing intensive nutritional practices, and then the second group did 2 weeks of mental training practices before the test. And then after the test, long story short, they found that the group that did the mental training actually scored 60 points higher than the group that did intensive nutritional training. So point being here, in this 7th principle, the choke vacuum, you want to hit the mental gym, focus and concentrate, build those muscles, and practicing mindfulness, and get success through stillness. Reach your peak through stillness. Day to day, month to month, year to year, have that mindfulness of a mindful lifetime. Appreciate it, TruSouljas. Until next time, I'll see you.